Hi everyone, this is Mitch from Pick Dogs. I have Puck Dog Rod Zaraki with me. Of course, Rod's with me on Tuesdays and Thursdays right now. We're thinking about expanding the things out. Chris will be back with us for next week's show, the other Puck Dog, and we'll have things figured out as far as they go. I'm not sure if we're going to do a separate hockey show and then I could bring these guys on just for on this show, how it's going to work, but I would love to do a separate hockey show. I think it stands on its own. I know other channels do it, and I think our guys are way better than their guys. I'm all right. I'm a little biased. Rod, how's it going? I see you got my Miami Dolphins hat on.
I do, yeah. I, I pulled it out. I think I wore it during the preseason, and then other than that, I think I put it back on the hook.
Well, I'm a season ticket holder, and it's a 2-game winning streak here for the Dolphins. I haven't gone to. I've only been to one home game since they moved out of the Orange Bowl, but I do have my season tickets. But yeah,
Nice.
we got a lot of action going on tonight, and it's kind of like in the NFL. We have a lot of rivalry games this week, a lot of divisional matchups, and some of the non-divisional matchups are actually some pretty good games too. The Ravens and Texans going at it. But we have tonight, we have the Cleveland Browns up against we have the Cleveland
Pittsburgh.
Browns taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers. And these teams, even when the Browns were terrible, these teams went at it. They hate each other's guts. So at least, we had a long streak during this NFL season of really bad primetime football on Thursdays and Mondays. And then the last couple weeks, last week where we had the Raiders, and then we had Sunday night, which has been good all season. We had the Cowboys Vikings, and then Monday night the Niners Seahawks, which was one of the better games of the entire season. So what are you looking for tonight? Of course, I have a premium pick on the side, but I think this is a defensive game, and I think this one goes under. But I think points are going to be. This is like one of those 16-12 games to me. I don't know.
That's what it feels like, but I think we're going to see some scoring more than what we expect. We totally expect a defensive battle here, and I think I'm going to go over.
Yeah,
And
I like under. I'm going to stick with it. Do you have a side pick on this? Because I gave mine out in the premium.
I think I'll go with the Browns here at home.
So Rod's going over in the Browns. The spread right now is about 2.5, 3 points is what I've been seeing.
Yeah, it was 2.5, two and a half. I think when I looked this morning.
Morning to everyone who's joining us. It's not just a hockey show. We're going to have a hockey show. We just need to figure it out. Chris, we're going to get to that game in a second. I was going to do a video on that game, the Vanderbilt Richmond game, but what happened was the line didn't come out until this morning. Morning to everyone. Those of you guys joining us late. Of course, Rod Zawacki with me, one of the Puck Dogs here, because we got a nice hockey schedule. We got 6 NBA. I think we got a bunch of NHL. We got some college basketball. We got NFL. We got college football. It's one of those days. Let's get right into it. Vandy versus Richmond. I thought this was an interesting game, and it's like I wanted to do a video on this game, and I do the videos generally the night before. And in this one, the line hadn't come out. And Vandy 2-0 heading into this one. Of course, Drew moved over there from Valpo, and we didn't quite see the results that we were looking for. Meanwhile, Richmond, the Spiders, generally a good team, but that St. Francis game in the opener, 100-98 in overtime. You guys know how much I hate teams that give up 98 points. Meanwhile, on the other side of it, Vandy 71-66, but they've played nobody. Southeast Missouri State. It's just, early season college hoops, really, really hard to figure out. But I'm very concerned about that 100 that Richmond gave up. It's a lean for me on Vandy. Rod, you have any opinion on this one?
I have no opinion on this game.
Okay,
It's too early of the year for either to
I'm over the
actually.
top, and I think that's why. That's why I have so much to say on these shows. But I think Vandy,
I would lean for me. I would lean Richmond, but I can't take that.
I can't take a team that gave up 98 points last game. All right, here's a game that I don't even understand. Tampa Bay minus 280, Rangers plus 230. Is that really a game that someone would bet?
That Wow, I'm definitely not going to go on the side there. That's for sure. Yeah, I can't bet that. That's crazy. Of course, because Tampa is the favorite, but you got to take a shot with the Rangers, right? But
Eight
I
five and
can't.
two for Tampa Bay Rangers. 8-6-1-1. To me, it's like to bet on a hockey game. It's like you have to look at the sport and the matchups and everything like this, and the fact that if I lost this one, I'd have to win 3 games just to get back to even. If I was betting favorites,
Yeah.
I mean, ouch.
So I can't take a side. It would be Tampa, guys, because I think Tampa wins this game. But I think the under is the better play on that game. Under 6.5.
Yeah, because to
Minus
me,
two
it's
eighty.
like if you can win 58 to 60% of the time, you're a great handicapper. And in this type of game right here, if you won, say you went 3-1, so you've won 75% of your games, and the one that you lost is this game, and you're even. That is some tough wood to chop, man. That is a very hard way to make a living. I know a lot of you guys don't make your living this way, but I'm just saying, even if you're a recreational sports bettor dealing with your recreational bankroll, and it's like, this is my money, my wife's money is here, our family money, our grocery money, everything's here. This is my slush fund. It's a tough way to build the slush fund, right? It's like,
Yeah.
I mean, for me, sports betting, even though I'm not a hockey guy, it's like, for me, a lot of it has to do with money management, and that's why I'm always talking about these point spreads, and you have to look at it in terms like that. It's a different thing when Floyd Mayweather is fighting Conor McGregor. I mean, that's a different story, and you have a line like that. The line was in that fight. You have one of the greatest technical boxers of all time against a guy who's never boxed in his life. I mean, you have, it is basically like, it's not me fighting Floyd Mayweather Jr., but let's just say it's like me fighting Floyd Mayweather Jr. I mean, Floyd, I always say, so professional athletes versus regular people, okay? So in golf, right? I always think that the best athletes are the guys that can do things that there's no normal person that can do it. So bowlers, right? I know that they can do it consistently, but I can roll a ball down an alley and I can get a strike. I can get birdies in golf and eagles, and I can do all that stuff that professional golfers do. Jockeys, that's a little something different. I mean, I don't think I could do that. Even if I was as light as those guys were, I still don't think I could do it. And if a flyweight 198-pound boxer hit me in the chin one time, he would knock me out cold, and those are different stories. But in hockey, I mean, you're talking an 8-5-2 team that you need to win 3 games to make up for a loss. The numbers don't even add it up there, because 8-5-2 doesn't put you at that 75% win angle that you would need. And I don't know, is there something here that makes the Bolts 3 times as likely to win this game? I think as a sports bettor, I don't see the data there, but as a hockey person, I'm not.
No, so they're biased on the line because of the way Tampa was last year. They won the President's Trophy. They were best in the NHL, but you can't do that. This is a whole new year. Hockey, it just doesn't work like that in hockey, or most sports doesn't work like that. It's a whole new year.
Yeah, I can't stand the line. But those people that are joining us late, this is Rod Zawacki with me. He does he's one of the puck dogs. He does mostly hockey, but since he's here, we're going to ask him about other sports. Usually for the puck dogs, we have Chris with us as well. He's out this week, but we'll get him back next week, and we'll figure out. We're probably going to have a separate hockey show, and then I'll just have these guys on as guests, like I have with Steve Monahan on Sundays, and we'll just go on from there. We'll figure it out. Georgetown -1.5 versus Penn State. This is college hoops. I did a video on this game. It was a pick'em last night. I still like Penn State. I took Penn State in that video. I like them here. I just think that Georgetown, to me, has come up short over the last several seasons in games like this. And until I see them get over the hump, I can't back them in a game like this, because Penn State generally pretty strong guard play and pretty tough to handle. Any opinion here on Penn State Georgetown?
Yeah,
with all the
I'd have to
paranoia.
side. I'd have to take Penn State here. I'm not a Georgetown Hoya fan at all.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while
Yeah,
since Alonzo Mourning and Patrick Ewing. Uh, Raptors. That was what dog of the day yesterday. Raptors.
I gave the pick out in the group, and then I was searching around. I was like, oh hey, the dog of the day video, and I clicked on it. It was like, oh, sweet, double up on that.
San Jose State plus 30 versus Arizona. I gave this pick out in a video. Thing is I don't I don't love this game. I gave out the over in the video. You can watch it. I have a lot more detail on it, and I think that in this game, the issue is that Arizona is absolutely loaded, and coming off of that 17-14 season last year, they're going to put the hammer down on lesser teams. They always have. Well, let's just say Sean Miller has a different way of recruiting than 95% of the other coaches, and you could say that the FBI has phone calls or they don't have phone calls or whatever the case may be, but he gets his guys, and he got 2 guys this year that are lottery picks. So Arizona is just absolutely stacked this season, and no one on the team is a slouch, so it's like you're just adding to talent on top of talent. San Jose State just not really in the same league with that. 30 is a gigantic number, but I think this is one of those games where you say, 30 you can take it or leave it, but you just say there's going to be a ton of points because I think Arizona is going to look like the Globetrotters here, and I think you take the over. But that's just.
And Arizona probably wins by 50, 60.
Yeah, I think so. I don't think San Jose State's that bad though, but I've been wrong before. I'm less comfortable with laying 30 points. Buffalo versus Kent State. This is one of the 2 college football games tonight. I did not do a premium pick on this game. I just found it tough to find an angle because I think that these weekday games in the MAC, generally what we've seen throughout the years is a lot of upsets and a lot of close games. And this year we've seen blowout city in these games. That the better team is just blowing the other team out. And last night, my premium pick on Miami of Ohio, I mean, if it was a fight, they would have stopped it. That looked like McGregor versus Mayweather. But
Yeah.
Buffalo here against Kent State, 78% of the public here on Buffalo, and the line has moved from 3.5 to 6. With that heavy pressure, that means the sharps, the squares, everybody, the world as I call it, is on Buffalo here. Kent State plus 6, 3-6 on the season, 1-2 against the number at home. This is only the 4th home game of the season. It is November 14th, and the thing about Kent State, and the reason why I didn't give this out as a premium pick, they've been fairly close in their other games. Toledo last week, we saw it on the weekday game. Miami of Ohio, 23-16 loss. Ohio U, 45-38 loss. They beat Akron 26-3. They lost to Wisconsin 48-0. That was probably homecoming in Madison on October 5th. Beat Bowling Green soundly 62-20. Lost to Auburn at Auburn 55-60. So there's nothing here that says that they're going to get crushed by Buffalo. Meanwhile, Buffalo pounded Eastern Michigan, who we saw win by 50 the other night, 43-14. Central Mich 43-20, Akron 21-0, then 21-20 Ohio, 34-20 Miami of Ohio. I'm going to lean to Kent State here because the world is on the other side, and that's the only reason. I think from a pure world on the other side play, I think that when the world is on one side and the line moves 3.5 points, that it's somewhere in that 3.5 point line movement, it moved through the number, the real number. So maybe the line at 2.5 was off. But maybe the line should have been 4 or 5, and now we're probably through that number. I don't know.
That's
I'm just throwing it out there.
I would lean Kent State too in this game.
I'm just throwing it out there. It's like I don't know, man. Buffalo wins by 100. Is anybody shocked here?
No.
North Carolina Pitt over under 52.5.
I don't see us flying over that number. I think I'll go under there.
I like the over. I don't see anyone stopping anybody in this game.
Are they playing in Pittsburgh?
In Pittsburgh. It's weird because the Steelers are on Thursday Night Football, and then the Pitt is on Thursday night college football. It's just really bad scheduling, is what this is. This is horrific scheduling because Pittsburgh is a Steelers town. You know, if it's the Penguins, the Steelers, and the Pirates, and University of Pittsburgh all playing on the same night, 99% of people will be on the Steelers.
Oh yeah.
I did a video on this game too. I guess, you know, a lot of people don't watch my YouTube videos, but tens of thousands of people do. But I did a video. It's called Florida versus Towson Free College Basketball Pick. It's right on the YouTube channel under the college basketball tab on our page. But I took Towson plus the points. They're getting 17. Oh, you got to give the point spread in these, so we're going to skip it. Go Edmonton Eskimos.
That's what that is behind me.
Yes. We did this one. I did a video on this one too. Michigan State versus Seton Hall. Rod, you got a pick?
I think I'll go Michigan State here.
I'm going to go the opposite of Rod on this one. I'm going to go Seton Hall. I think that this is one of those games, and we've seen Tom Izzo do this a million times, where he's whining, he's crying before the game even starts. And Seton Hall, this is basically their Super Bowl. And I know that they play in a tough conference anyway, but this is one of those games where Seton Hall, it's back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and then Michigan State pulls out a narrow win at the end, and Seton Hall covers, and Izzo's just like shaking his head when he shakes hands with the other coach. You guys played a great game. I can't believe it. Right? Seen it a million times. It's like, after a while, after like years and years and years of watching the same thing, it's almost like a script. It was like that Penn State-Minnesota game, except Penn State didn't finish the script, but it was just like you'd seen it a million times, you know? It's like Grizzlies, that was my premium pick yesterday, was the Grizz. Morning. NHL, not my thing. I'm from Miami, and when I grew up in Miami, we had no hockey. So we used to get one hockey game a week on public television. It was the Montreal Canadiens every single week. It was back when the Canadiens were great, the Guy Lafleur, Ken Dryden era, which Rod probably is somewhat familiar with. But you know, these are like, you know, icons in, you know, hockey.
That was from my dad's era of watching hockey, and he loved. He was a Blackhawks fan, huge Blackhawks fan.
Tony Esposito was the Blackhawks fan
back then.
Yeah, I used to watch the Canadiens, and they also, you know, that was the only team that was on. And then on Sundays, NBC had a thing where they tried doing hockey for a little bit, and that's when it was the Peter Puck era of the NHL. Saturday. Look them up on YouTube one time, and you'll see Peter Puck. It's like a cartoon that they had to try and educate the U.S. population about hockey. It was crazy.
About hockey.
Yeah.
In Canada, every Saturday, we're glued in front of the TV. Saturday night hockey.
Oh, yeah. Hockey night in Canada.
Oh, yeah. Been going for years and years and years.
I dated a Canadian woman years ago. Her family, many, many years ago at this point, but 25 years ago. Her family was from Mississauga, and I used to go visit them for Thanksgiving and Christmas and all that other stuff, and it was in the summer at the cottage. You know, it was, they were way into the hockey.
30-something years that they fired Don Cherry the other day.
Yeah, it's tough when guys make. I think we've seen this in sports a lot, and we all say things that come out that might not be exactly what we mean. And
interpreted what you meant.
Sometimes you pay the price for that, and it's like that's why you really have to watch it. I say things all the time, you know, and you know, I get a little bit more leeway here, but
I've heard Don Cherry say worse than that.
Yeah, yeah, and you know, there's been other guys, you know, throughout history that have said things, you know, and it doesn't make it okay, you know. It doesn't.
Oh no, it definitely doesn't make it right.
It's like it's a very tough call. But let's move on. Clippers versus Pelicans, over under 235.5. The Clippers, of course, played last night, so they're on a back-to-back, but rumor has it, Chris Paul back in the fold. You know, the Pelicans at the beginning of the season, when I said, "Oh, this is a team without Anthony Davis and Zion Williamson is, their number one pick. He's out, and everything." And it's like, who do they really have? And then you kind of look at the roster and say, "Man, the Lakers were really crappy for a few years. They had really high picks, and all those guys, are on the Pelicans now." Ingram's a nice player. I mean, he was, top 2 or 3, right? When he was drafted. Lonzo Ball was overdrafted, right? I mean, we all know that he should not have gone that high. But, he's not a bad player. And it's like, the Pelicans, this is a team that actually with Zion Williamson, plus a bevy of draft picks coming up, they're not in that bad a shape.
No. Is Kawhi going to play tonight? We don't know.
I believe he is.
That's what I figure. I think he's going to play on his back-to-back. I'd have to lean the Clippers here.
He's not listed as out.
Because usually he doesn't play the back-to-back. He's on the load management.
Yeah, load management. I kind of like the over here.
I kind of like the over here too. I think we're going to see some scoring.
Move right along. Mavs -7 versus Knicks. I got a premium pick on this game.
I take the Mavs here.
I like the over. Hawks versus Suns -7. I like the Suns in this one. Like I said I did a video on this game, and that's available on YouTube. But what I basically said in the video, and you can watch the full thing. And my videos, I'm trying to get more in depth. At some point I have to show you where I'm at with building out the studio, and you'll see like I have a board and I'm writing all sorts of notes so I can add more stuff while I'm doing those videos. But the thing is with the Hawks, man, they seem like they've been on this road trip for a month. I mean, they've been out west. It's like, and they're still way far out west. It's like, I think at a certain point you got to get worn down. I like the Suns here.
I like the Suns here too. They've started out pretty good, and just like you said, this Hawks team, have they been home? Last time I think they've been home over a week, 10 days now.
See, a question like this, Mike, I have no idea what you're talking about. You have a line on that game. There's a lot of games tonight. I really don't know what you're talking about, unfortunately. Clippers -4 versus the Pelicans. Clips on the back-to-back.
I like
last night against Houston.
And the last time I seen them do that, they were playing the Jazz, and they came out and played flat. That they were actually looking forward to the next game. I'll take the Clippers here tonight. I think they come out and beat the Pelicans.
Yeah, I'll take the Clips too. I just think they're the better team. Sometimes you got to go with the better team. I like what the Pelicans are doing. I think Michigan State, it's 6. It's still there. It's there. Heat versus Cavs -4. I don't think the Cavs. This is incorrect. Johnny, the line is the Heat -4. You got it backwards.
That line dropped to 4? Holy.
Yeah, it's Heat -4. It was 2.5, and now it's Heat -4. I like the Heat in this one. The issue with this game is these are two teams that I bet all the time. I love both these teams. The Heat are way underrated, and the Cavs I think are way underrated too. I think these are two teams that kind of they play above the expectation, and whenever you have teams like that, they cover a ton. And I'm going to take the Heat here. I just think they're the better team, but I'm not betting this game. I like both these teams too much.
I'm going to take the Cavs tonight at home.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I could sit here and make a case either way, because I honestly think that if this was a 1 or 2 point game, I'm not surprised. I think that's the way that this could go. I just think the Heat are a little better. Jets +135 versus the Panthers.
This Panther team is rolling. Like they've been on fire. They are 3 points out of Boston for first in their division, which is a weird funny stat. Boston has 11 regulation wins, and Florida's only got 6. So Florida grinds it out and gets the game to overtime, and with that number, actually, you know what? Let's take the Jets. This is the Panthers that were on this long, crazy road trip, and it's their first game back at home. I'm going to go with the Jets.
Is the puck line the same as the money line? No, the money line is who's going to win the game. The puck line is the dog getting +1.5 or the favorite -1.5 goals. So in the puck line, the favorite has to win by at least 2 goals, or the dog has to lose by less than 2 goals. I don't know what the run line is. In baseball, the run line, I don't understand how the runs in. I know this is like a big thing on internet Facebook groups. Browns under 40, we did this game already. Puck line, same as the run line. This is one of those things that in Facebook groups, people get really kind of almost upset about people calling it the run line. I get it. I understand why they call it the run line, but there's no runs in hockey, and there's no runs in football. It's called point spread. Point spread is but in baseball, the run line is laying a run and a half. In hockey, the puck line is laying 1.5 goals, so your team's got to win by 2 or more in either sport, or if you have the underdog, losing by less than 2, so losing by 1 or winning the game. But I don't understand why they call it like the regular point spread, the run line, and why the run line is the actual run line in baseball. It's like, it doesn't make sense to me. I can't figure it out. I'm not like one of these people that's gonna like blow a gasket on it just because they hate the phrase run line. Because the people that mention the run line on games like this, and it's mostly in the Caribbean where you see this, the run line. They didn't make that phrase up, They didn't. They're not the ones that went to the book and said, let's call it the run line, even though it's really just a point spread, or the run line where it is a run line. In the puck line, we'll call the puck line the run line also. It's like, I don't, I just don't understand it. We just did this game. Coyotes +120 versus the Wild.
You got to go with the Coyotes here. They've been on fire. They went into St. Louis. Well, they went into Washington, beat Washington. They went into St. Louis on a back-to-back and beat St. Louis. How can this team is roll? You got to go with the Coyotes. But it's looking at one of those things. How are the Coyotes at +120? I still got to go Coyotes. I can't take the Wild.
Line movement in this. That one sounds odd to me. Let me just take a quick look. See, I don't have any opinion on hockey, but I do have opinion on line movement. 51% on the Coyotes, and it's gone from -115 to 120, but it's 50-50 this game.
Oh, well then, yeah, we're all over the Coyotes.
Yeah, no reason not to. We did this game already. We recap all of our picks at the end. Of course, if you're watching us live, if you could hit the thumbs up, always greatly appreciated. And of course, if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. I do more free pick videos out there than anyone. I don't know, how. Just a quick thing, because we still have a lot of ground to cover here, but you see all these other sites out there that do free picks on games. I was the first one to do that. Other people did free picks on games here and there, but I was the first one to cover like the Fairfield versus Marist game as well. I was the first one to cover every game every day, and everybody else saw that people liked that, and they started doing it. I still always thought that we did it better than everybody else, and the numbers showed that people agreed with me, and we're doing the same thing here. But now on YouTube, I'm doing the same thing. And you're going to see everybody else is going to have to up their game. When you look at the other people that are producing free pick videos on YouTube, over the past week, the second most is 47. I did 101 this past week. So you're going to see other people try and take it up a whole level. The whole thing with all those other guys, even my sites, picks and parlays, and what you see is there's multiple people doing the videos. In my on Pick Dogs right now, I'm the only one doing it. Maybe we'll get Rod to do some hockey videos. If he wants to do some quick, I can run it down with him. We'll get him some lighting and a camera. It doesn't take much to do them, but
oh yeah, I'm fine with that.
I think we could figure it out. Just quick 1-minute videos. Let's see. We did this game. Did we do this? Detroit versus the Kings. Detroit on 3 games in a row.
I would take Detroit. Detroit's been hot, and this is a team that I looked at on paper that should have started the year a little better than what they did. I think they're not a bad hockey team. They're big, physical, come in, wear you down, beat you up, and I think they're better than the Kings. I'll take Detroit here, and I'm not going to take it on that puck line. I'm take them on the money line.
The Wings. I think hockey's better when the Red Wings are good. That's just me. I think they're one. I think.
Yeah, they're Motown.
For me, as a non-NHL person, I need to see the Red Wings. I need to see the Blackhawks. I need to see Minnesota. I prefer the North Stars, and teams like that. I mean, these are the classic teams. The Montreal Canadiens, the Bruins. I need to see a Bruins Canadiens playoff series that goes 7.
That goes 7. Oh yeah, those are the best.
That to me. That's playoff hockey. Whether you like hockey or don't like hockey, playoff hockey is the best of all playoffs. It's a different game than the regular season. It's hard to describe why it is, but it is. It's, I guess, because you can't play for that tie.
And the funny thing is that the team that's in 8th has won the Stanley Cup. So it's not like anybody has a chance, and anybody can win the cup. It's first team to win 16.
Let's see. We got 32 thumbs up and 82 people watching on YouTube. So if you're watching on a phone, you just shrink the comments, and then you go down and you hit the thumbs up, and then that will you'll be able to see it, and then you can go back and put the comments back up. But that's how you do it. You shrink the comments, then you can do the thumbs up. What's up? Gambling has brought my family much closer. We had to move to a smaller house.
Oh,
all right, so that is it for the questions for today. Thanks, Rod, for joining us. Let me just recap what we went over. I took the under in the Steelers-Browns. Rod likes the over and the Browns. I took Vandy plus 5.5. Rod had no opinion. He took the under 6.5 in Tampa Bay versus the Rangers. We both like Penn State. We both like Arizona. I kind of like the over, though, more in that game. Kent State plus the 6. This is a lean. It's just, I think an argument can be made either way in that game. In the Pitt, North Carolina, I took the over. Rod likes the under in Pittsburgh. I took Seton Hall plus the points. Rod likes Michigan State. I think that's going to be a great game. I think Michigan State wins the game. I think Seton Hall covers. Took the over in the Pelicans Clippers. We both did. I took the over in the Mavs Nick. Rod likes the Mavs. I took the Suns -7. Both took the Clippers. I took the Heat. Rod took the Cavs. I think I could be talked off the Heat at 4. I think at 2.5. I think the number is right in line there. I think this could be a 4. I think between 1 and 5, 1 and 6. This game is in that low single digits. But for me, it's the Heat. Rod took the Cavs. He also took the Jets, the Coyotes, and the Red Wings. Do you have a best play in hockey today?
The one that I'm looking at, best play for the day, is I think Dallas Stars here on a back-to-back. They just beat Calgary last night, and I think they have to travel to Vancouver, and Vancouver on the puck line. Vancouver -1.5. I think they
there it
beat
is.
him by.
Dallas Stars and Vancouver on the puck line for Rod as his best bets. My best bets are at Pick Dogs Premium today. I'll be back later on this afternoon. Going to do the NFL show with Steve Monahan. We'll have Rod back. I don't know what's the NHL schedule tomorrow. Anything going on? Let me take a look.
A quick look here.
No, there's 5 games. So I'll talk to Rod after, see if he wants to join us quickly or, whatever. We haven't, obviously, it's a work in progress. Anyways, I'll see you guys later. Rod, thanks again for joining us. I love having you on the show.
Yeah,
I think our audience likes you too, so all good.
Thanks a lot.
Thumbs up from me.